Welcome, friends across the world, to the Great British Mickey Waffle. Now, usually a trip to Orlando is about how much it actually costs. However, tonight, what we aim to do is save you a few pounds or dollars here and there as we explore ways in which you can head off on holiday of a lifetime, save yourself some money all along the way. It doesn't matter if you're Harry Potter or Magical Mickey. It's always good to conjure up some savings to help make for a memorable trip to Orlando, with a few hints, tips, and planning hacks that will hopefully help you make that saving on your next trip to Universal or Disney or Orlando. Welcome to the Great British Mickey Waffle live.
Now my wheels in motion and my windows open with the wind blowing in my hair. I'm driving down the highway, gonna do this my way. I can feel it in the air. Here I
Welcome, everyone. I'm John. I'm forever faithful to my reputation of being thrifty. Never tight, I hasten to add. I will add that in just before we begin. I'm just careful not to pay over the odds for anything, and everybody knows I've got a reputation for it. But I'm looking forward to this, and actually, this should be a fantastic show. And joining me are Ben and Becca, and a massive welcome to the two of you. Look, it's just the three of us. Claire's off sunning it in the.
I know. Claire's in Dubai.
Oh, as you do. That won't save any money, will it?
I was saying, I don't know how that compares to a Disney World trip, but every time I've looked at Dubai, it's like it's a bit expensive.
Yeah, I think as well. I think it's quite ironic that we're doing this show without her, because actually Claire's whole mantra is not just sort of saving money; it's how much money she can actually spend. So,
do you know what? It reminds me of the 1st of January show this year, where Claire had the big budget.
Yeah,
to book bougie budget to book a Disney World trip. So and John, you were on the other end where it's being thrifty, trying to save a bit of money. John, you're our money saving expert tonight.
Yeah, there's no Martin Lewis tonight, I hasten to add. So you just sort of you're sort of rooted with us instead. But it's really weird, because actually I know I get a real bad deal with this, but I get a real high out of just saving a little bit of money. Now it's really weird, and I'll probably start just little things along the way tonight that you're minded of, and you're thinking, oh yeah, that's a good one. And even if it's only $10-$20 or something like that, but it all adds up, and it actually turns into at the end of the day, quite a significant amount. So, I think that would be the best thing as well. And I think with it being Wednesday and with so many planning tips, it doesn't matter if you live on the other side of the Atlantic, because I'm pretty sure people in the chat, and I've already seen people in the chat already who I know how will be writing a few things down, maybe on their own little bit of pen and paper that you get ready as well. But if you're in the chat, do share with us some of your own ways that you save money if you're on a trip to Orlando. I think it's a really good one, because there's loads of little hacks out there. I know that there's certain people who get really uptight about maybe people who beat the system, and I think I'll put my cards on the table. I'm going to try and not touch upon bits that are maybe not quite sort of smiled upon and things like that, although we might
not too controversial.
We might drop one or two in as we
go.
Know.
I think that's the thing. We've been doing this show nearly 6 years, and there are so many different times we've talked about trying to save money, but there's probably so many hints and tips that actually I can't remember, or whether we use actually on our trips, because you get into that Disney sort of excitement of going like, okay, I'm booking a trip. What do I want? Here is my budget. How can I make that budget stretch as far as possible? What do I have to sacrifice? Am I eating on beans and toast?
And then you just go, never mind.
Yeah.
Oh, that reminds me of your trip last year. We're not doing parks. We're not doing.
Not doing parks.
We'll do that. We just do this, and then, we'll book that as well. And
do you know what? I blame everyone in the chat. There was pressure. There was
Having
peer
us to
pressure.
book, so we
It's
did.
You're going as Halloween, so you've got to go Mickey's Not So Scary. We did not do Halloween Horror Nights, but we did do a stay at Universal. So it's one of those, you need to like work out what you want from your trip. And as we look to booking future trips, we know you got to work out what you want from it.
Yep.
And the thing is, everyone's holiday, everyone's vacation is different. You've got to work out what you want from it, what fits your family, what fits your travel group.
I think that's what,
because I think it's so easy to go into, like, I don't know, when we booked our first trip, we walked into Virgin Holidays when it was in Debenhams back in Canterbury in 2013 or 2012 at the time.
Oh, so it was 2012 at the time.
And you go in there and it's like you have an idea of what you want, but then actually you start talking about it, and then you end up booking a completely different trip. And then you're not sure, do I have all the tickets? Do I need all the tickets? Is 2 weeks long enough? And then actually, once you're out there, you realise that all I needed was tickets for Disney and Universal, and I didn't need to go to SeaWorld. But I think we'll come to that a bit later.
Can I also just point out as well, we do have Neil and Karen in the chat already. I'll come to the rest of the chat in a moment. They're from Portwood Travel, long-standing friends of the show, but that's probably the first thing to actually put on the table, Ben, is actually trusting someone. You either go DIY and try and do it yourself and take the risk of what you do there, or if you go to a travel agent, go to someone you trust and somebody who actually knows what they're talking about, because they will save you money along the way, because they will make that quite explicit to you that if you're going for 10 days, you are not going to need a 2-week pass for every single park. But some people will, and some people who, and I know some high street travel agents who have not got that knowledge, but they are seeing the commission signs, and that's not right. And I'm going to have to be careful tonight, because I do get on my high horse a little bit about stuff like this.
I think it's taking that step back on your holiday and actually realizing what you want to do. What it's your holiday. At the end of the day, you've got to work out what you want to spend your money on.
Yeah, but I think as well, though, I think that's one of the problems, isn't it? And I think let's park that.
Let's put a pin.
Let's park it for a bit. I'll just a nice little welcome, Heather. You were the first one, and welcome to the show. I'm trusting you're in a little bit warmer climes than the most of America at the moment, and it's only lunchtime where you are. We've got Jack with us again. Mentioned Neil and Karen. Jane's there as well. Welcome, Jane.
Hey, Jane.
Thank you for joining us. And 2 weeks in a row, we've sent the weather, especially for Mark Jones, and he's on a snowstorm, so he's off work again.
Perfect.
Every Wednesday.
I wonder, Mark. There could be something in this. We might need to come to some sort of arrangement, and as long as it's not like the teachers in the States, when you get a snow day, but it's added on into the summer term, and that doesn't sound good to me.
A snow day should be a snow day. I don't care what it's called.
Yeah. Mark's also noticed the fact that whenever he's watching, Claire's not with us. I think there's something in that as well. I need to be careful here, because actually, when Claire watches this back, I'll be getting about 100 texts off her. And Sean's in the chat as well. Welcome, Sean. So again, we did have a committee meeting about this, and actually we agreed that we wanted to welcome, if you're in the chat, come and say hello. We love you being part of the show, and I know we went through a spell where we decided we weren't going to mention the chat except for advice you were giving, but we love you being part of it, and I think that's our little thank you to you for actually joining us.
And also for those that are live watching us, and tag a friend, share it out on Facebook, let someone know that we're live, because we're live every Wednesday at 8:30. And as you've probably watched many shows before, you never know what chaos is going to happen.
There's always chaos.
Usually when I'm around, that's it should be my middle name. Also,
that's why we put you in charge, John.
That's the thing, isn't it? If you haven't pressed that little subscribe button that's underneath the picture on YouTube, click on that so you get a notification every week. But also click the thumbs up one as well. That would be really good of you. There we go. That's it. We've done that bit, haven't we? So
we usually miss that bit.
No. Look at this. I'm on a roll. You can tell I put a lot of planning into this show. Again,
Well, I was
Which I
going to
have.
say,
Which I have.
do you think
Actually,
it's time for our news segment?
I think news segment.
Because I know the past few weeks we've had quite a bit of like, oh, what should we talk about? What's actually on the list? But I think this week,
let me get my newsreader.
I had enough one of those.
There we go.
need a bit. I don't think it works with an iPad.
Doesn't do the same way.
Putting your iPad against the table, it's probably not going to have the same effect.
Just put your iPad.
Yeah. Right, come on, let's do the news. I need to go into Anchorman role now. Oh, good evening, San Diego.
We need to get you like a handheld microphone, or we need to send you. Do you know what?
On location.
I'll put my burgundy jacket on for it. Yeah, I would just do it in the style of Ron Burgundy. I think that'd be brilliant.
Or when it's a bit rainy outside, John, we need to get you like get in your coat, hat, be like one of those like weather reporters.
Or when was it Shepard Smith used to do the hurricanes for the TV in America? Anyway, we digress. We digress again. Anyway, never since Limerick Christie has a lunchbox been discussed so much. So Woody's lunchbox at the studios has seen some shade being built this week. Now, this is but this is the thing.
I'm
right?
very shady.
Not yet.
You're not going to get much shade from that. But the problem was they actually refurbed that whole area, I think, at the back end of last year. And everyone was complaining about the fact that there's no shade, there's no shade, there's no shade. But actually, it's been winter time, hasn't it? So now, in preparation for the sunshine, so maybe hopefully coming out, they've got on with the job.
I think since it opened in, was it 2018?
Yeah,
it's been needed. We've been there when it's been hot, and it's not the most comfortable place. And the thing is, because it's so popular,
there's never a seat.
It's hard to get a seat, and then it's like, okay, if I'm going to stand to eat, there's not many trash cans around because you're not at Epcot. So it's one of those things that it's long overdue.
Yeah, it is. It is.
Definitely.
The other one as well to mention as well is off to Animal Kingdom. There's loads of work already being done, and actually, from the reports back from people who were there, is actually the fact that I think Chester and Hester's had disappeared and been knocked down this week. There is building work in progress, which I think would be a really good one. If anyone's going, take pictures. If you can get your gimbal,
in the right
like picture over the wall or something, because I love seeing how they actually go about it, and I think that'd be a really good one. So, if you manage to do that, share it in the Waffles Arms with us.
I'm amazed how much has happened since walls have gone up and things are starting to move. And it's a bit like the other week we mentioned about Big Thunder Mountain, that already track has started to be relayed.
Yes.
So it's quite interesting to see how Disney are moving on, how quickly they're compared to what we've known of Disney before. When we look at Tron, and obviously
I can smell the fear, Ben. That's what it is. We keep coming back to this every week in the news. Yeah. There's fear in the air. They've got to be quick. They've got to be seen to be doing something. And actually, what we saw this week, and this amused me at the time, because I actually felt that as a piece of news, it was such a gift to us for Wednesday nights, because actually, again, we're talking about permits being filed, which basically was the destruction of Tom Sawyer Island and Rivers of America. So that comes out. You get all of that news on one day.
Yeah.
Derision on social media by people like me, because actually I really, my heart of hearts, I really don't see how you're going to plus the whole of that area. No. Especially now with the fact that there's little chinks in the actual description of it. It's not necessarily, I think it's now, it's not the bigger expansion that everyone was expecting. It's a replacement, and that's the bit where I think a lot of people we're getting really uppity on social media.
I think it's because everyone was using the Beyond Big Thunder Mountain.
Yeah, and it's not beyond Big Thunder Mountain.
It's not. It depends what angle you look. It's how Beyond Big Thunder Mountain it's going to be, but and I think I wonder whether the Cars Land is going to be the main focus. Being like the phase 1, and then into villains, and then what happens from there. But we're going to have at least 5-6 years of walls in Magic Kingdom,
Yeah.
and changes. But it'll be interesting to see. The concept art from what we saw last year looks good. There'll be another D23 in August. So let's see.
And they can talk about it some more there. That's fine. So
and the thing is,
that was the bad news, Ben. But I thought this is the bit, and this goes back to the fact that you can smell fear, because it was quickly followed. 24 hours later, Disney come out with the news that they're getting rid of the virtual queuing system, especially for Guardians. And actually, that strikes me as one of the things that you're now going to have people going and trying to get every single song from Tron in one park day. Now, I think that is a park challenge and a half.
Do you know what? I can't wait, and I think we should do a poll in our Facebook community, the Wafflers Arms, on how long we think that standby queue is going to be on the first day.
When is the first day?
The 25th of February. So it's only next week.
Next week.
And what is really interesting is that not only have they removed the virtual queue, but for Cosmic Rewind, it's been added to early entry.
Ooh.
So you can go and use it in that first 30 minutes as soon as you enter the park.
Hang on. This show's meant to be about saving money.
So where with
that will save you some money. You won't need a lightning lane.
So where with Tron,
I might have to pay for a hotel.
And Tiana's Bio Adventure, that it's not part of the early entry the first 30 minutes, and it's when the park is open. Actually, Cosmic Rewind, you can get in there early. But I'm a little disappointed.
Why?
I've spent, I don't know, when was the first virtual queue? Rise of the Resistance. So 2019.
So 2021.
So I've been practicing since then how to work this system. At 7 a.m. I can get a boarding room. At 1 o'clock, I can get a boarding room. To be fair,
apart from you've forgotten.
Once we forgot, but other than that, we still managed to get the one at 1 o'clock. So I'm sort of like, so on one side, I'm happy I don't have to wake up at 7 a.m. on my holiday to go to the park. But then part of me goes like, now I might have to wait to 60 plus 90 plus minute queue to go on Guardians.
Yeah, I actually think Sean's in the chat, and it's basically take me $20, you filthy animals. I totally with you there, Sean. I actually think this is the underhanded way of pushing people towards buying a lightning lane, and actually that in my opinion again negates the whole benefit of the virtual queue was fine, because you just got up early, got it done, and then you were then that excited that you're going on Guardians that you couldn't get back to sleep. So that's
I think the first year of it was like Rise of the Resistance was more technical issues of like capacity, like you had to be in the park, you had to have good Wi-Fi to be able to do it. But then the system for the past few years, I think since we've been since November 2021. It's worked fine.
Right.
Yeah.
So it's one of those, like, I'm excited and it feels weird, but as with every change at Disney Park, you take it, you look at it and go like, okay, well, that's what I'll have to do on the next trip.
Grain of salt.
Yeah.
Yeah. Just a quick, going back to the chat, Mark Jones has actually said they started running Epic Universe commercials in the States, and it just looks epic. The commercials make you want to go there. And does say Disney should be scared. I actually feel it's a really healthy thing when the Disney organizations start to be scared, because actually I think Universal, I know I keep saying this, but I think they've got them exactly the way that they want them at the moment. And I think it's really telling. This summer's going to be absolutely incredible.
I've got a couple of quick news stories. Forces of Nature show has been extended into summer 2025.
That made me dizzy. I was only watching it.
Which I remember. I think Robin's in the chat, but she sent me this video and commented that it was maybe on a TikTok about this show that was in the gardens in Epcot, and it was just these dancers, and it, like you said, it made you really dizzy. It was like, we can have these back, but where's the trolley show? Where's the other entertainment that hasn't come back? Well, I don't get this.
Yeah,
it's the anti-gravity.
Well, my guess is
probably cheaper.
Well, also they are probably not employed by Disney.
Yeah,
Hence why
Yeah.
it's an extended contract.
Yeah.
Which means they're probably exempt from a bunch of rules and regulations.
that is true.
And there's lots of loopholes that Disney can then use to.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But in a way,
Yeah.
another bit of entertainment that's staying in the parks than leaving.
Yeah.
It gave SeaWorld vibes.
It just made me really dizzy watching it.
Yeah.
It was a good show.
It just didn't feel like,
but...
to me, it fits within Epcot. But
no, we watched it for a bit and just thought, okay, let's move on. It's just like it.
The thing is, it was on the app with no description. So it's like, oh, this starts soon.
In 5 minutes. We're sitting here anyway. We might as well watch it.
Yeah.
On the positive side, I think, was it on our Disney Springs bar show the other week where we spoke about CityWorks and what we thought was in the NBA experience, like what previously Disney Quest.
Oh, that's right. I've just seen that today as well.
Yeah, they've just confirmed that level 99 immersive, it's a real-world gaming experience, will be replacing the NBA experience at Disney Springs. So it'd be nice that something is going to use that 2-floor space.
Is this basically a new version of Disney Quest, but more modern?
Updated Disney Quest.
It could be.
From the pictures, it looks...
See, I've never heard of Level 99. So it's an interactive social entertainment experience known for its challenge rooms. So it's like escape rooms.
like escape rooms. Okay, well, that might be quite fun.
Disney-themed escape rooms.
Yeah.
Okay.
Might have to do one of those if that's the case. I like an escape room.
Okay. I like that. But I'm not sure whether doing an escape room after drinking around Disney Springs might be the best.
Oh, no, it makes it even more fun, apparently.
No, I think that's probably our news.
Let's wrap that up because it leads us seamlessly to saving money. It's quite possibly the board at Disney can actually teach us a few things about that. Although they also seem to be the ones who keep putting prices up, so maybe that's a double win for them. I think you know. Where do we start? And I'm probably going to say at the very beginning because it's a very good place to start. Now, I found this out last night, and instantly I saved myself 35 quid. Now, I know it doesn't sound a lot, but actually my Microsoft 365 is due to renew because I've got a personal one. I don't get it through work. They've just bumped up the price to 105 quid. Now, most people would just ignore that, and it would just sort of go into the you get your credit card bill and you're like, that's gone up a bit. But it's only 79 quid last year. And I thought, oh, that's not right. But actually, if you get rid of the Copilot that they've just
the AI,
they've added into it. They're basically charging you for that.
Yeah.
So, but you can go in if you go into your Microsoft account, you just go to cancel. If you're on auto renew, go to cancel, and then it comes up with you can have the classic version for £79. And I'm like, there you go. Perfect. I didn't know about that, but that for anyone who's got a spreadsheet and there's a big spreadsheet person, go and do that because actually I don't see the point in paying for all the stuff that I don't use anyway.
Or open a free Google account and get spreadsheets.
I was going to say, if I can save you even more, get Google.
Yeah.
John, you're onto it though. Auto renew. And I think this is just anything that you always think about. Sometimes that it just makes sense because we've just renewed our travel insurance. It's an expense that we know that we don't get it through our bank because through the bank with you have to pay extra for medical and sometimes it's more complicated.
Doesn't always cover all
but
of your...
I had the renewal through this morning and instantly on the letter it was like, oh, here it is, and it going up £60 this year.
Yeah.
I go straight onto a comparison site, put in the same details. I've saved myself £100.
Yeah,
so it's one of those things that if I just thought, you know what, I'm just going to not worry about it, let it auto renew. Actually, it works out better that way.
That's a good one. We're onto this.
We're on it.
We're onto this.
But also the actual added cost you might have of of traveling without travel insurance is extortionate, and it's something I would never ever do.
Do not do it, and especially if you go into the States. I know there was a story recently in some of the newspapers about somebody who went and didn't take out travel insurance. They thought he'd get away with it, and then were madly poorly and stuff like that.
Yeah.
You
never
can't do it. It's not worth the risk, and it's not worth. And again, be truthful.
Yeah.
I know you have to pay a little bit more if you've got a medical condition, but again, it avoids you from having your insurance voided.
Because you never know when you might need it.
Absolutely.
And the likelihood is, yes, you're never going to need it. But on the off chance you trip over and sprain your ankle and need to go to A&E, or you come down with a nasty bug, or kids get a funny rash, and you just want it checked over, it's better to be safe.
It certainly is.
And it's an expense that actually, when you think of it in the grand scheme of things, there stuff we're going to talk about tonight. There's a lot of stuff that there's a few non-negotiables, and for me, that is one: you're going to need to get an ESTA for your holiday,
and you don't need to pay somebody else to do it for you.
And and that
make sure you're using the official site.
I think that's a
great
one.
$21.
$21.
It should be is what it should be costing you per person.
Yeah.
If it's costing you more than that, you're not on the official site, and you're paying somebody to do it for you.
Yeah. And what I'm going to do for anyone watching on YouTube, I'm going to just post it in the comments page.
That'd be good. That'd be official. Yeah, because actually, I think it doesn't matter how many times you explain to people that goes to the official site. I remember, I think I'm going back about 2 years, and I got a phone call from my mum, and she turned around and said, that's gone up in price. I've tried to do an ESTA. It's £105.
Yep.
And like, she turned around to me, and I said, just whatever site you're on, click on the cross. Have you put any information about yourself in? And she said, no, I don't think so. I think she had, but I'll just click on the cross, get out of it. It shouldn't cost you that type of money. And, and companies will just pick over, people who are not weary, people who are not aware, and people are just not just thinking, I'd have to do this, and just like, it's going to cost us. I think that's a really cracking one to include.
And Sean is right. It's a lot easier to put it through now. You can use the app as well on your phone, or you can use your laptop. And what you can do is you can scan using your webcam or scanning your passport, so if you can fill in all the details.
Yeah.
So it pre-populates it, but what it does is once it's scanned it all in, you then have to go and verify that this is your passport number just to make sure it's read it correctly.
Yeah.
So you put in all the information.
So there was a couple of details that left off when we were helping my side of the family do theirs the other week.
Yeah, slightly complicated when you've got some got different ones that aren't UK passports.
Yeah,
but it was relatively easy to do, and it is $21, and it lasts for 2 years. But the other thing to remember is that if you do change your passport, you need a new ESTA. How many times that I've heard of people's trips not going ahead because they thought they had an ESTA. Well, they've got to the airport, didn't do online check-in, which would have told them they had to have done an ESTA.
Yeah,
and thought they had an ESTA.
It's your worst nightmare.
But they got a new passport like 3 months before.
Yeah, I as well. I think Neil made a real good point as well in the chat, and it's about your insurance. Make sure you got insurance the minute you book. So if you do have to cancel, or if there's some other reason why you might get poorly, whatever, you are covered. Don't just think, I'll do the insurance later on. Get the insurance in place so you know that you're actually covered should anything untoward happen. And again, from personal experience, I was very, very well looked after. We had a trip to, I think we were going to Spain or something, but contacted the travel insurance company, explained that our diagnosis. They actually paid us out probably within 5 or 6 days.
Oh
wow!
And they were that quick, and it was just that. It's at that moment where you think, I've heard so many bad stories about insurance companies and stuff like that, and it kind of reaffirms your opinion on it. And I think it's really important that you actually get that as well.
Yeah. Simon's right though. Always check the price of an annual travel insurance, as it can be cheaper than a one-trip policy.
Yeah, brilliant.
So we're going to Disneyland this year and Walt Disney World. priced them up separately, and it was a lot more. It was about, there was probably a saving of like £50 per trip in it by going for an annual policy versus doing
That's
it.
a really good one, that Simon, as well.
And
all go on back out.
Yeah.
I was going to say, like Simon says, it does. Simon says, sorry, it does cover UK breaks as well if they're
2 nights
or more. So if you're also going away 5
Yeah.
nights during a half term, that's going to cover that as well, because you don't often think of getting travel insurance when you're going on a UK holiday.
No, it's something you don't normally think about.
No.
And
No.
it's, you only need it. You only regret not having it if you haven't got it, and it's one of those times that you need it, and that banks do offer it as well. So, but it's always best to check the terms and conditions, and that goes with all insurances. We're not going to recommend any one here, but you need to just do your due diligence and work out what's best for you, what's included,
what you need.
That's a really nice way of describing it, man. Due diligence. I think that's
It's a good word.
Yeah.
Word of the day.
And actually, sometimes you have to pay for what you actually what you actually need. Don't just think, oh, it's the cheapest one, I'll go for that one, because if you compare that with a different policy that maybe offers a bit more for baggage, a bit more for delay, or whatever.
Yeah, because you've got things like cancellation. It's like we didn't realise that actually for our one trip last year, we're on the Disney Fantasy, and we got stuck. We had a missed port day because of the weather. But looking back, actually, on our travel insurance, we had port cruise cover. So if we missed that port, we got paid out for missing that.
That's a good one. If you're on a cruise, make sure that the travel insurance covers you for that. But it's a separate add-on, and usually costs you another bit of money as well. But it's worth it.
If you're renting something like DVC points as well, check your travel insurance will cover those.
Because some only cover if you've booked through and if you've got a package. So some policies don't cover if you book it DIY. So it's ensuring things like you have something like end supplier failure. So if you're booking separate parts of your trip, and that goes for like if you're booking park tickets from someone, that you're not booking a package which has everything combined in with it. It's checking what you've got covered for, and
I think that's
also checking with who you're booking whether you can rebook. So if you've got like car hire and you book it at a certain price to save money, when you get close to the trip, the price may have dropped, being able to rebook. Or
without any charges and things like that.
If you have the option to book with someone that offers free cancellation, or you pay less of a deposit, it's for our Disney tickets later this year. We've only had to pay £1 deposit, and the payment isn't due till 8 weeks before we go.
Right, good. And actually, that's another one. I'm going to move on to park tickets, because actually that's another, because it's a big expense if you're going on holiday. I know we've already said, just don't do that sort of really rookie mistake of just like, oh, we're going, let's buy tickets for Universal, Disney, we'll get SeaWorld ones. Oh, wait, we might have a date Busch Gardens as well, and you end up with just way too many to actually fit into your holiday. But look at who is providing the ticket for you. Look at what offers they've got available, and know fine well that I booked some with attraction tickets. Again, low deposit, but got a really good deal, just simply because it was a New Year's sale or whatever. But you actually just keep watching for the offers. If you know Black Friday's coming up, wait until then, because they do discount heavily at that particular time as well. And search. I tend to find American companies don't offer. Certainly, when you're looking from this side of the Atlantic, they don't offer the same bargainous prices. I know Ben and I were talking before the show when it was showing like the current prices for a Disney ticket, a multi-day ticket, and when you look at it, and I'd seen it on Twitter yesterday, I'm just like, how much?
I think the most expensive one with Park Hopper I saw was like $750.
It's just crazy.
For like a 4-day ticket. 4 or 5 day ticket.
And from the UK, make sure you go and you buy that 14-day ticket before you go. It's worth it, because
it's working out what you've got included in that ticket.
Yeah.
Where when we were on our trip last October, we booked one day at Epcot because we didn't have a 14-day ticket. We weren't there for the full 2 weeks. We decided to book one day at Epcot. It was around about $145 each. So for near enough $300, including tax, for us to do one day.
Yeah.
Where the equivalent 14-day ticket for this summer is, I think we paid £420.
Yeah, because it's
14 days.
14 days for the price of 7, and then
Yep.
some places have had a 20% discount, which is, again, it's unheard of in the bigger scheme of things. And you get Memory Maker or whatever it is, Proto Pass.
And water parks
and mini golf.
Yeah, it's all there, isn't it? And I think that's one thing. And if people are watching or listening to this and they come from the States, we do apologize.
Yeah,
we're British. We pay more for the flights.
Yes,
and I think that's it. Yeah, there you go, Matt.
Matt, you're right.
Yeah, cheers, Matt. Yeah, we'll bring you some tickets over. We'll just send them to you en masse, But and that's the difference. That for us, it's a big saving, but we end up having to pay for the flights and pay for the accommodation, etc. And that's where it kind of.
And genuinely, most people come from the UK to Orlando are going to be there on average a couple of weeks.
Yeah.
So when you think and that's why most tickets from Disney, from Universal, from SeaWorld and Busch Gardens are a 14-day ticket, because then they give you the flexibility of being able to go in and out of the parks without having to plan too much. Now park reservations aren't a thing, which we're very grateful for that.
Guys, we are happy about that one.
But I'm really I think it's one of those things. Park tickets I would say the best time of year to look is around Black Friday, regardless of the time of year you're going.
Yeah,
Black Friday for the following year is generally the best time I find.
You do need to be mindful, though. You need to actually stipulate a date, and that's maybe the sticking point with that.
Yes,
you need your date of when you want that ticket to start when you book it, and I think that's and again, you guys have got a really cheap deposit that you don't mind giving up.
Because Disney are quite happy to reduce their prices this summer because the competition up the road. By the sounds
something's happening up the road.
Something's happening, and no one's going to be there. Hopefully.
Yeah. Can also add as well, and we just touched upon that very briefly there. Another one is flights. Now, short of getting a boat and rowing across in order to save money.
I'd do that.
I know I would as well. One of the things that has changed, and this is a massive game changer, I think, in the airline industry post-COVID, is previously, if you go back to probably 10 years, if you went indirect, you would be able to pick up a flight for around about £500.
Yeah,
and if sometimes you get a little less as well, even for the middle of August. Now, that has kind of disappeared because indirect flights now tend to be on a par with direct flights. And that surprised me because
I even find some of them more expensive.
Yeah, we didn't mind. We didn't mind stopping off somewhere, especially when the kids were younger, because actually it kind of broke up that big 9-hour bit. If you do like a bump across to New York or Boston, it's only 5 hours. And then you get a bit of a break, and then you can go further down. There's no real saving to be made. I think with flights in particular, have a price in mind. There's loads of things. Google Flights, there's Skyscanner, they're all out there. Have a price that you're prepared to pay. If you see it, book it, and don't ever look back, and don't look again.
Don't look again. Never look again.
Just put it to one side. It's done. It's booked. There's nothing you can do about it.
Yeah,
and I think that's the only thing. I know we've spoke about this in recent podcasts, and I actually think it's probably a good time to mention it. If you miss the main podcast, go back and listen to like the January, February, and March main shows, because actually we've got loads of little things that go again from car hire to flights, and actually putting together a whole package of a trip. And strangely enough, we do kind of plan what we're trying to talk about, and tonight it kind of brings all of those things together, as to exactly how you can get the best deals and how you can actually go and you can find stuff. And again, I would say how you can ask other people to do the job for you if you're looking for a travel agent. I think again, it's there's two sides to it.
With flights, I've always found it more complicated. I know Claire's not here and she'd recommend booking a fly drive. Every time I've looked at booking a fly drive, I've found it's more expensive than booking the flights and the cost separate.
Yeah,
I think to me, for our dates, I've just never made it work. So it's one of those that it's trying to work out. You've got to try and work out, and we're quite lucky. We can go. The biggest money saving tip is if you can go out of school holidays, that will save you the most money.
Yeah.
Whether that's a few days, and I know there are fines for taking your children out of school, but
it's
sometimes
still cheaper.
It's still cheaper to pay the fine than it is. I know.
See, I'm allowed to say these things now as well. It's even funnier. It's just like, in my previous head teacher role, I would have been head in hands thinking about attendance and things like that.
I know exactly where you're coming from. Working in the school, and it's like, I don't have to do that. But
I might have to leave Alison at home though to actually cash in on that one.
The other thing is that different school districts also have different fine amounts. They have different levels of severity, and some are more severe than others.
Yeah.
In whether they'll give you a fine,
whether they enforce
and whether they'll enforce it.
Yeah.
So check with your school, with your kids' school.
Yeah. And
because if they're willing and happy for them to take
or just take them and just pay the fine.
Or further than 6 for 2 weeks.
Yeah.
I didn't say that.
We're not advocating that one.
He's been really poorly, but he comes back to school with a tan.
Robin, they've increased the prices more recently. It's not as easy as where it used to be £50 per child per parent. It's in the hundreds. It's about £150 per child per parent. So you can get really done over if you're actually a family who's going for a happy time. But hey ho. Other one as well. If you want to save money on flights, right? Yeah. I'm going to say this because Claire's not here. Think about where you want to sit on the plane. Right? Upper class.
Yeah. So you don't want to turn left. Don't want to turn left when you get on the plane. Go and sit in economy because you're all going to the same place. You're all going to take off at the same time. You're all going to get off the plane at nigh on the same time.
Yep.
What is you can say by just not having a little bit, a few hours worth of luxurious comfort, you could save more, which could actually pay for your tickets, it could pay for your car hire, and it could pay for probably most of your meals.
I'll tell you one. I'd recommend if you have the opportunity to try premium and upper class once.
Yeah.
But then actually you realise like you don't need to do it every trip. Do it as a special occasion. But once you've been able to fall asleep on the plane, on the bed, it's a bit different.
Yeah.
I'm gonna say something else. If you're only going for a shorter trip, think about going hand luggage only.
Yeah.
Oh, good call.
Yep. Well, we're going to be doing. We're luckily we're not doing that for Disneyland. We're only going for 5 nights, but
because it was a package.
But it was cheaper for us to book as a package, so we've got the sort of full luggage. But we were preparing to just go hand luggage only, and it's one of those things that it depends. We've done an 8-night trip hand luggage only, which was a challenge in itself.
You know what? It wasn't going out there that was the challenge.
It was coming back with the stuff we bought.
And we didn't buy much.
Yeah.
Because we knew we had a limited amount of space.
That is true. And I have to admit, the priceless flights was £280 each.
Wow. That's my kind of flight price. I like
indirect hand luggage only.
Yeah. That was an incredible flight.
What,
2019?
19.
Yeah. Do you know, it probably in a few years' time, and when people look back on the flight prices that we paid, probably sort of the early 2000s up to 2019, the prices were absolutely incredible. You could pick up some, and I must admit, there's some legendary glitch pricing that came up as well, which we actually made massive use of. I think on 2 different occasions. And again, that just came from hawking yourself onto we were on the Dib and then somebody comes up, is this for real? I think there's a glitch, and you go in and you see it, and you just like bang. And there's been one time when I've actually booked a flight, and nobody in the rest of the house has known about it until the following day, and it was such a bargain.
Yeah,
and it was just like you knew it wasn't going to be there the following morning.
Yeah.
And I think airlines now, they protect themselves. So
we had something similar not that long ago, and we booked with Norse.
Yes.
And it was, you were going to work for the evening, and it was about 11 o'clock at night, and I was like, I sent you a picture of these like flights prices, and it was for half term, and it was £320 each.
Oh, wow.
It was an October half term, and it was like included luggage, so included food. What am I missing here? I don't care about booking the seats. And it was like, okay, we need to make this decision because their sale finishes like 8 a.m. in the following morning. Do we just book it? Do you know what? We just did. It was one of those times that was like, I'm just so glad we did.
Yeah. Well, one of the things that does tend to happen now, if there is a glitch on BA or Virgin and things like that, they basically cancel your booking, send you an apology
and rebook it.
And then say, unfortunately, this was the incorrect price. Here is the proper price you should have paid if you'd like to book at this price. And you're like, no thanks.
No, why is it double the price of what I paid?
Yeah, exactly. I tell you what, I'm going to move us on because actually, I can't believe the time. And the people in the chat, you've been doing there's some amazing little comments in here. And actually, I think as well, I think there is loads and loads of different things that we can actually pick across. Matt, I love the fact sit in a cargo hold if it was cheaper. That's my kind of guy. That's exactly what I would do.
You know, there's that meme or that gif of someone like holding on to the wing of the plane. Yeah, it's like I think it was maybe during 2020 when we were all like all trying to get back.
Yeah.
It was like it doesn't matter. I would just you do whatever you could to get back to Orlando.
Yeah. I actually, and as well, Hannah, thank you for joining us. We appreciate that, and also the fact, worked in upper class, nice, but isn't amazing. And I think that's it. And Dibbers Row as well.
Yes,
that was a thing for such a long time as well. That was superb.
Wasn't that on the Virgin flight?
Yeah.
On the bubble.
It was. In the book, and we had that 1 year as well, and it was just when you book it and you're like, yes. And it really was a fabulous row to be in. Again, a little bit of a hint and tip if you want to know seat configurations of planes. Now this is I'm getting really nerdy here, but go to seatguru.com and you can actually put in your airline and you can actually put in your route, and it will show you the aircraft that travel that route. You will then see, and if there's good seats or there's poor seats, they are highlighted either in green or red. Most airlines now, particularly if you fly an Airbus, have basically got every seat is basically the same, and there's not too much. Occasionally, just be wary. Don't book a seat near the toilets. That's my only thing. I can't
toilets and also exit row.
I can't.
When exit row, because sometimes you've got areas where people congregate.
Yeah.
Once we were in one of those, it was like a night flight. I woke up and there was like 6 people standing in front of me.
Yes.
It was just like there was a queue for the toilet.
It's not a good bit.
I don't like about the exit row is that you have to stow away the television for takeoff and landing.
There we go.
And I need something to distract me on takeoff and landing.
That's why you have to book.
Yeah. Last one. We're not even got across to the States yet. No. This is shocking.
Yeah, we're still
selling these little Penn State pretzels.
Don't do those anymore on the Virgin flight.
Oh, there you go. I was going to mention about airport parking. I won't because I'll go on a rant for another 15 minutes. Airports are charging way too much in this country at the moment. So actually, again, do your homework. Get the train.
Or get someone to give you a lift.
Yeah, also, it's one of those things. There are discount codes available. I remember when we booked ours for this year. I went online. There wasn't a discount code, but I went on, and then I think Heathrow were doing like a Boxing Day sale. Just went on there. As soon as it got to the checkout, there was a 25% discount added. Yeah. They didn't advertise it anywhere. It just happened. But also, if the price, keep an eye on the price. If it drops, you can rebook it. It's just like car hire.
Also, have a look, see if you can get a good hotel the night before the flight and car parking
Yeah.
package. Some are pretty good, some are not so good.
Yeah, totally agree with that. Totally agree. I'm gonna move as quickly on. I would also add as well. Now, we mentioned about the start of month podcasts having more. We do fill out quite a lot of the detail about booking your trip and things like that. So if you're watching this and you may be watching us for the first time, go and just delve into some of our recent podcasts. It will help you plan a trip that's upcoming. We've also got more upcoming for the March, the upcoming 1st of March one, which I'm not going to give that away too much at the time. But our February mid-month was out last weekend. And actually, if you're traveling with young children, again, the advice, and it was brilliant because I had such a really good chat. But taking young kids, and it was so good, but I still feel that taking such young kids on a holiday deserved an absolute medal. And I'm pretty sure we shall have them back on a show in Devonshire Days. Yeah, go and check it out, because the whole show, if you've got a really young child, their whole show, I think the most.
I just couldn't imagine taking a 7-month-old on a plane.
No.
But then also it saves money in that weird way. They don't need a park ticket.
They don't need a park ticket.
No,
they don't need
no
a
park
seat.
ticket, no flight. That's it. They sit on your lap and stuff like that. So,
share your food.
Yeah.
They're not going to cost you anything in your hotel room.
So,
right, let's move us on, because actually, what do you pack that you know is going to be more expensive when you get there? And this is actually definitely sun cream, shower gel. That's my one as well.
If you're staying at a Disney hotel, we prefer to use the Disney ones there. They used to be called H2O, now Disney own formula. So I use that instead of having to worry about packing all the shower gel and
saves you a bit of space in your cases as well.
And also prevents one of those like shampoo accidents when you're trying to if you've packed it in the bag, and stops it leaking if you don't have to take it.
Oh, good call. Like that one. That's a really good one. Favorite chocolate? That's the other one. If you're a chocoholic and you like British chocolate, you'll pay over the odds for it when you
Don't go to Epcot and find a bar of Milky Bar for $5.99.
Exactly.
I mean, if you can go without your chocolate for 2 weeks,
try American chocolate. Try something different.
Not Hershey's.
Not
Hershey's.
Not Hershey's.
We're into dodgy
Jellies. Try some down jellies. That's nice chocolate.
Maybe we could do a show in August of us trying different. We could do a live show with all different types of chocolate.
Yeah,
we found in Walmart.
That would be something, wouldn't it?
That's a nice idea, Robin. We'll take porridge pots for breakfast. Easy and quick, and there's so much.
That's a really brilliant one. Like that, Robin. Thank you. Sean mentioned about ponchos as well. That's another one, because you can get them from the pound shop here.
Yeah, and they're really expensive in the parks when it rains.
And normally on Amazon they're like £5 for a pack of 10. So it's one of those
I'm more intrigued. Heather mentioned ponchos as well. Now, for someone in California, I actually think that's quite an impressive one there, Heather. I like that. Appreciate that as well. That's really, really good.
Lisa, we'll have to have a chat about Hershey's. It's very different to stuff that you get in the UK. It's very bitter in comparison.
Yeah.
I mean, how frank would you like me to be?
No.
I think we could. No, I'm not going there, because someone else is doing it. Someone else
Lisa,
is doing
it. On our next trip, we'll meet up. We'll bring you some dairy.
We'll bring you some.
You can have some proper
chocolate. Yeah. Hannah, really good one. Child snacks as well, because if you've got under 5s and if they are sort of picky about what they eat, take them something that you know that they're familiar with, and something that they feel good at eating. It's worth its weight in gold going out, and you're not bringing it home with you as well.
You're going to say not just.
I was going to say not just under 5s, actually. If you've got allergies, food intolerances, children with ADHD, autism, sensory problems, where food is an issue.
Yeah.
Snacks that you know that they're going to like and eat are always going to be a good thing.
Yeah.
To take with you, because you might not be able to find them. And I think baby milk might be enough. Can you take baby milk? Powdered baby milk?
Don't know. I'd need to check. No. I'm trying to remember. I can't honestly remember.
So Robin's right, actually. If you buy a non-Disney poncho, when they rip, anytime that we return, I'll give you a new one. Whereas the cheap plastic ones are Poundland, when they rip, they go in the bin. So if you buy a Disney poncho while you're out there, if it rips, they will just swap it over.
Right, okay.
That's interesting.
But you do pay.
Would you use even a Disney poncho
you pay
more
like
than
20,
once anyway?
You pay, was it $10 when it's dry and $20 when it's raining? Is that right?
Yeah, that's it. Yeah, watch the price.
Watch the price increase when it rains.
Price surging better than Ticketmaster. I think that's about it. Yeah.
Oh, you have CME's help.
CME, yeah.
My
Thank
baby
you for
milk
that.
question.
Yeah.
You can. I've had friends that brought baby milk over.
And Robin says,
so
yeah, if it's the powder, it's a powdered one as well. But yeah, don't put it in sealable bags or keep it in the original packaging, because that's
ponchos will be needed for Tianas.
No ponchos on water ride.
Oh dear me. We're starting something here, aren't we?
Yeah.
Claire will listen back to this with her head in her hand and go, "Oh my word, what have you done, guys?"
Hi, Carrie.
Oh wow, hiya, Carrie.
My apologies, I didn't realise that you were.
I didn't know either. No. It's brilliant. And then when you look, it makes sense now. There you go. There you go.
It's only taken a slightly
I've got a feeling Robin doesn't know. Work it out either. So
there you go. That's all right. That's fine. Oh, yeah, I don't either. That's good. No. That's brilliant. Good to know you. All right, there you go. She's
no clue what ID I'm under.
That's usually quite a good thing on YouTube, I must admit. And again, once you arrive, I'm not going to talk about car hire. We did that in the February podcast, and I think just if you want to know about car hire, drop into that one as well, because I think that's a really, really important one.
And if you've got any questions about it, feel free to contact us. Just contact us on our socials at GB Mickey Waffle, or just leave us a comment in any of our shows. We do answer them, so feel free to ask any questions.
I'm going to put food and drink to one side just for a second, because I know Simon was in the chat earlier. It was his daughter. Actually, during a driving lesson this week, actually came out with a cracking money-saving tip. And actually, I'd never thought about it, but it makes perfect sense. And probably this is something that, again, if you come from the UK, you're not really very aware that you can actually buy gift cards and dining gift cards as well. But they offer you basically free money. So if you buy a $100 gift card, it gives you $130 worth of food. Now, obviously, there's a thought there that you're not going to spend that much. So again, if you're not going to spend $130 worth of food, it's not going to, you're not going to be making money out of it.
And it's sometimes I've seen like $100 where you buy them for $90, so you've earned 10%.
And it's worth it, though, isn't it? I hadn't thought about it, because actually, it's one of those things that when you go across to the States and you think, oh well, maybe we can't do that because we're British and this, that, and that. But you can, and it's dead easy to do, and it's something you just need to keep your eyes peeled for it. You just need to know how much you're planning on spending on food as well. But it's a cracking one. So thank you, Izzy. That was a really brilliant
one. And I think you can also get, I think we were saying this earlier actually, that at the outlets you used to be able to get voucher books.
Yeah, I think it's on an app now, isn't it?
I think so. Yeah, you register on the app, and they give you like a QR code or a barcode to scan each of the stores that can give you a discount. So even though you're going to spend money anyway at the outlet,
the one thing that gets me about that, Ben, is you go. It's the same when you go to the outlets in York or you go to Cheshire Oaks and stuff. You go with the app, and it's like, we can't do double discounting.
It's only full price items.
Well, I'm not going to the outlets to buy full price items, am I? I'm going to buy the stuff that's cheap, and then you're not going to give me a discount on it.
Yeah.
But be cheeky and ask, because there are stores that will give you that double discount. Be prepared for that. The other one as well is off-site dining. Now, this is a little bit you can actually do in advance, and again, choose your favorite places that you would normally go to. I'm thinking of even, I don't think Miller's are quite as good as other places, I would say that. But
we used to use Denny's and IHOP
but they're really good. Yeah, but they're really good because you keep getting bombarded with emails. But if you put a false date of birth in that coincides, that your date of birth coincides with your holiday times, you will get either a free dessert, or you get a 10% off, or you get a free cupcake, something like that. But
just put your birthday date
Yeah.
as your trip, whether it's your birthday or not.
Yeah, and it's a really cracking one because, again, it's one of those that you can get something for free out of it, and it really does make sure that you're there.
Yeah, you're right, Robin. Make sure it's your birthday while you're there.
Yeah.
And if it's your actual birthday while you're there, get a pin.
Yes.
From Disney, and everyone will say happy birthday to you, and sometimes they might sprinkle a bit of magic.
Or when you're celebrating an anniversary, or if you're in a Disney park or staying at Disney Resort, go and get one of the badges. And how many times that I remember that trip, that we got glasses of champagne.
It felt like every sit-down meal they were giving us a glass of champagne or a cupcake.
Yeah, by the end of it, I stopped putting down like, "Are you celebrating anything?" We took the pictures off. I was like after so much free champagne, I'm like, no, I'm okay now.
No, you can never have enough free stuff. I tell you, that's another good one. You guys might know about this. Again, this came from Izzy as well. Talking about Universal Pass Holder Appreciation Days. Which again, looking up the road, I think this is quite a novel thing, and actually just being. I know it's quiet times of year. I think it was January and September, but actually they offer big discounts on merchandise. They offer big discounts on different sort of things as well. They also do the monthly. Do you get a monthly magnet or something like that?
Yeah, if you're in the park on that day or that month, you can just go pop along and grab it.
Another reason for a Universal.
And the same thing actually goes with a Disney World annual pass. You can get the magnets as well. But also, when we were there, I think in 2023, during the month of June, they were doing a 30% discount on merchandise instead of the regular 20%. So pass holders that month. So it was quite handy to be a pass holder and go it was like it was one of those trips. Every time we thought, do we have the room in the suitcase? And is it something that we've been thinking of? Or, you make that mental list when you walk around the parks going, I'd like that for home. I'd like that for home. How about this? And then you put it back. You want to go, one day we'll get it. It was that trip we decided, you know what? Life is short. There's 30% discount on that. I'm getting it.
Yeah.
Yes.
What was really fascinating last year when Josh was a cast member, his discount was, when he first started, his discount was 50%.
Oh, wow.
Now, it's amazing how many things you can buy via FaceTime whilst he's actually walking around. He's walking around the shop and he's actually giving you a guided tour of different places. Do you like this? I think you might fancy this. And I'm like, nah, you're right. And then when you see it in real life, you're like, oh, I wish I could have done that. And then, but I've only got, I think he ended up with 25%, which was good. And then obviously once he stopped being a cast member, he lost that. But Claire was there at the same time, so we also managed to a little bit and use Claire's annual pass to do that too. So that's really good.
Universal Hotel Ticket and Resort Desk have money off vouchers for City Walk restaurants. Crazy golf if you ask them.
Now that sounds really good, doesn't it?
Yeah. That one.
And the other thing to notice, actually, if you do have a Universal annual pass, and depends on what one you've got, depends on what discount level. So I think the premium one I had gave us discount in sit-down restaurants. So and that was in City Walk as well, which I didn't realise until we looked at all of the sort of things you get with an annual pass.
Yeah.
So it's trying to work out that actually sometimes buying an annual pass can work out cheaper, because when you add in things like the cost of parking, all the things that come included,
especially if you're doing 2 trips in a 12-month period.
Yeah, I think that's
also have a look at the hotel prices for Universal and Disney if you do have an annual pass, because I don't know about the Disney ones at the minute, but the Universal ones are stupidly cheap.
I nearly booked a night for August earlier. I'll share the price. Let's have a guess.
Guess what it was.
So it's a queen room. It's a 2-bed queen at Royal, Portofino Bay club room. So you get your
express passes for 2 days.
Slumming it then.
Yep.
Yep.
Guess how much for one night?
And this
is in the middle of August.
Middle of August.
Right.
Well,
with annual pass holder discount. Without, and if I was paying rack rate, it'd be $775.
Oh.
you can guess in the chat as well.
Yep.
Join us in the chat. I'm going for 2 nights.
Just
One night.
One night.
One
So
night.
you get the day before passes and the passes
right.
on the day after as well.
I'm going low. I'm going on a bargain of $350.
Okay, that's interesting.
Oh, Robin's
Robin
hey,
took
hey,
the
look, hey,
same.
Robin's gone the
Yeah,
same as well.
300.
Lisa's gone for
Lisa said
300.
300. Any more for any more?
Yeah. It's a difficult
It,
one. because that's-
it
again,
really
that goes-
surprised me.
But it goes back to what we said earlier on, though, Ben.
Yeah.
I think this is the key thing. If it's a price that you feel is good value,
Yep.
then you book it. And I think that's the other side as well. Oh,
Okay,
Simon's
I'm gonna
gone
say-
way lower. Ooh,
280,
Oh,
450.
Mark Jones is still with us. It must have stopped snowing. He's not snowed in the House of Mouse. 450 for Mark Jones. Go on, Ben. Put us out of misery.
$285.
Wow. There we go.
There you are. Simon's the winner.
Yep.
Simon, you got closest there. I'll try and find something to a prize for you.
A round of applause.
Yeah, I'll find a prize.
$285.
It might be more beer mats. I think that might be
It
it.
was like
Gonna go with the virtual cookie.
a club room. I just couldn't. I'm like,
Wow.
we need to think about
Yeah.
when it is on the trip. But yeah,
I tell you what, I'd have that
That
booked.
might
I'd have
be-
that booked right now at that price.
what's also
So tempted.
is maybe look at what we could do next year. And I was seeing prices for less than $100 per night in the new Stella Nova resort in Terra Luna.
This is, and again, I know we go back to what we're talking about in the news. This is where these guys know they've got the hotel room space to offer this to get people to come to Universal, because what they're planning is it's not just about Epic Universe, it's about getting to spend money in their parks, spend food at City Walk, spend for food in the park as well.
Yeah.
That's absolutely incredible.
And just think the price of Express Pass in the middle of August as well.
Yeah, I just think that's I think, and the chat's lit up with exactly the same thought as well. I just feel that I think that's something else. And again, I think Robin had mentioned thinking of getting Universal annual pass. If you're getting that level of discount on rooms, that's when it becomes even more affordable. And actually,
I feel like we need to show on maybe Universal tickets, because we've done a lot on Disney. I wonder whether we need to do a Universal and Universal annual pass show.
that could be quite good. That could be quite good. I'll put that on my
Have you got your post-it note, John?
I'll put it on the post-it note. We're all right.
If you don't book that, I'll come over there and make you book it.
I know. Exactly. I need to buy an annual pass first. We haven't delved into our usual Wednesday treat of talking about food and drink. So I know we're pushing on for time, but again, any ways of saving on food, I will come out with the very obvious one. Is that never be afraid of ordering from the children's menu, even if you're an adult. Order what you will eat, because remembering portion sizes, even if you're eating off site, portion sizes are usually exceptionally generous. Don't waste money on food when you actually just want a little snack or whatever. Take what you can.
Share food as well. Share an adult's meal between two people.
Yeah.
When it gets your 60 days, and if you're the one that has the dining plan, the full dining plan, in any trip, do not book 2 table service meals in a day. Do you need it? It's one of those things that actually, every time that we've looked at table service, it's like, I'm living in the park quite a lot. Maybe I'll have 1 table service during a day. Do you need to have so many reservations? It's something that actually, just because you've got it, doesn't mean that's the right thing for you. And actually, how many times that we've done the show, the dining plan isn't free, it's just included when you get the offer.
Yeah.
So it's actually sitting down and working out actually how much food am I going to need, and whatever's left over, you split food. How many times that we've decided to split a meal because actually we just want a lighter lunch.
Yeah.
in the heat, the humidity, I don't want to eat sometimes big meals.
Yeah. Yeah, I think it's a really good one, but I think again, if you're British, you tend to get into this polite thing where we all have to have a dish and we all have to, but you don't. And these restaurants across there are really very much totally in tune with exactly the whole point about going and just people just ordering what they want. Even if there's 4 of you sat around the table, you might only have 2 meals. It doesn't matter, you know.
Yeah.
I think don't be polite about it. Just order what you want and don't
take refillable bottles with you. And get a nice ice water at food carts, Joffrey's, and Starbucks. And you can add squash to if you don't like the flavour of the water. And I have to admit, Disney have been putting in. You haven't got just the standard water fountains that you struggle to try and fill up a bottle of water in. They've actually got proper water refill stations. So yes, the water's probably not isn't
the nicest.
It's not the nicest, but actually sometimes in the searing Florida heat, you're just thirsty, and I don't want to pay. Was it $5.50, $6 for a bottle of slimy water?
Well, that would be the other tip: pre-buy bottles of water, or if you want something more flavour, then Powerade, Coke, lemonade, and bring them into the parks with you.
Yeah. Don't be tempted to buy
when you're in the
food. The food carts.
That's one of my biggest ones as well, because actually, if you're taking a rucksack into the park with you or a backpack smaller size, you can actually, if you freeze a water bottle and you put it in the back of the backpack, it actually, as the backpack carrier, you have a cooling mechanism to see you through the day, and it then means that you've got really cold water to drink during the course of your day.
What I love is by the time you get to the end of the day, your bag's empty, so it's like it's lighter throughout the day.
I used to wrap frozen bottles of water in a small towel as well. Protects any electronics you've got in your bag, and you've got a nice cool towel as well, partway through the day.
That's a really good tip, and I think as well, the one thing to be aware of is don't be tempted to go for 4 or 5 or 6 bottles of water. Frozen water weighs significantly, and so you end up, it detracts from your day. Or you can you can use the saving, buy a locker, put the bag in the locker, and you can keep coming back to the locker, and you're actually paying. You've got your own drinks, you've saved, but Disney has still managed to get a locker rent.
Or you can get the free ones from the quick service and Joffrey's.
If you're getting a Starbucks or hot drink anyway,
you might as well grab a
nice water while you're there.
Yeah, and also if you've got a refillable cup, just saying, there are some places that, and again, I'm not going to go about cheating the system, but there's some places that you don't have to put a chipped cup in place. The fountain drink is actually there, and you just put the cup in it, and it fills your drink up and things like that. I'm not going to mention places, but they are out there. Go and find them for yourselves. ABC Commissary is a very good one in the studios, I hasten to add. Disney don't pay for their soft drinks, so don't feel as if you're doing anything bad. They get all the soft drinks provided by the Coca-Cola company because they quite like the advertising, etc. So again, look on the other side of that as a little bit of one where you do it. I'm just very aware that the chat tonight has been brilliant. I really am.
I feel like we need to come back to this topic as well.
But I can't speak highly enough about it. You know, Simon's again mentioned about Landry's card. Again, $25. You get $25 for free, and a free $25 on your birthday month as well. There you go. Priority seating in some restaurants, which is Rainforest Cafe, Trex, Yak and Yeti. And I think it's also is it Bubba Gump's at Universal is also a Landry's place as well, from memory. Hannah mentioned about buying snacks from Walmart. Don't have to pay in theme park prices. And actually, plan ahead. Don't get too beyond yourself in actually taking a bit of a packed lunch with you. Because actually you're saving your money, and that's one of the key things to actually doing this. Don't just expect to turn up and actually have meal upon meal inside theme parks. You're going to pay theme park prices for it. I think that's the other side to it. Food and drink is a real strange one because I think a lot of people tend to sort of shy away from doing a little bit of prep of their own. When you go through security, you will not be turned away if you brought some food and drink with you. The one thing that you will get turned away with is if you take one of them big massive carts with a big massive picnic in the middle of it. They're severely frowned upon. But again, just do a little bit of work yourself and stuff.
And
like that.
the thing is, if you want to order a kids meal, a lot of places use mobile order, so you can just open the app and order what you want.
Yeah.
So
I think
how many times I've looked at, sometimes I find it frustrating when there's like a new restaurant or there's been a new menu added, and it's like I look at the menu and go like, oh, they've added some really good stuff to the kids menu. It's like, I'm not a kid, but it's like, no, I'm ordering that next time. It's cheaper. And that's all the food I want, because that's actually what I want.
Yeah.
So sometimes you get tempted by like, oh, the kids menu looks good, but actually I'm an adult, so I'll go and order on the adult menu. It's like, no, but I know what I want, so I'm going to order that.
Yeah, Hannah's got comment of the night in the chat. I must admit.
Yeah,
and actually, that is another level of saving money.
Wait, using the iron in the room, to make cheese toast. I feel like that.
That just doesn't sound very hygienic to me.
I think that is
safety is all I can think of.
I think that is taking it to I was thinking about food safety. That is definitely a different level altogether.
Absolutely.
And I've got to say, what's really interesting, I know Neil and Karen probably got work to do, etc. But it's great because people in the chat are actually, before we finish, are getting to the bit of actually thanking us for the show. So, yeah, Neil and Karen, thank you very much. Really appreciate you staying with us all the way through the show. Lisa, we always appreciate you joining us as well. And I really, we miss you when you're not here as well. So it's been really good when you can catch up with us. And thank you for putting all. I am bowled over just how good the chat has been tonight, and I just feel that's absolute testament to exactly what we do. Matt, look at that. Here we go. Free roasted marshmallows on most nights. Yeah, I think we mentioned that as well. I think that was another thing that.
Yeah.
It's put yourself out there, and when they do the campfire bit, and the film Under the Stars, etc., you tend to get,
I feel like that sounds like a challenge, especially if you're doing a trip with less parks and you're just there for like the resorts.
Most of them also have tea and coffee making facilities, and disposable cups, so you can take a cup of coffee with you, on your way to the park instead of having to buy one.
Right. Last challenge, because we've done this the past few weeks, and it's been really good fun to finish the show with. And I know there's probably loads and loads and loads of different money saving tips. Stick with us. We will manage to get as much money saving in as we can throughout the whole of this year, because it's actually something we all like value, and we all like getting value out of a trip. And we also like getting decent value when Disney are charging the prices that they are. But hey, I'll leave that. I'll stay on the positivity side, because I put that in the Waffler's arms earlier when I shared the show. But Ben, did we have a headline for this week?
Oh, we do.
Come on then. In the chat, join in the fun. This is. I actually love doing this, because actually it makes me giggle, because you can think of some ridiculous things, and I may get into trouble.
If you're listening to the show earlier, right at the very beginning, you'll probably know the answer to this. But blank is going away at Walt Disney World,
and it's
Chester and Hester.
It's not Bob Chapek, unfortunately.
It'll be Bob Iger.
Bob Iger, sorry,
Sunny Eclipse. No.
Oh no! See, I know Packer doesn't like that. They're not going anywhere. They're my new
let us know in the chat
what you think.
What you think is going away? What could be going away at Walt Disney World? Well,
money saving,
price hikes.
Yeah,
Tom Sawyer Island.
Yeah. Disco Yeti. Yeah, love it. Yeah.
Being fleeced for every cent.
Yes, I'd agree with you. Actually,
Rivers of America.
Yeah.
Common sense. Like that one, Heather.
Heather, that's Joe. That's a great one. Free oxygen.
Oxygen. Oh, we have a winner. We
do.
have a winner. That's Matt. Virtual queues are going away.
Virtual queue. There we go. I still think Heather's a winner. Was it common sense? I actually
Common
think
sense, yeah.
I think you're spot on with that as well. I think must admit. Goodness.
All the people. Do you know what? The queues might be going away, especially how quiet it might be later this year when Epic Universe opens.
Well, hopefully.
Fingers
All the queues are going away, not just the virtual ones.
It's not just because we've got a trip booked this summer, is it?
No.
Everyone's heard you coming. They're just going to go to Universal and leave you alone.
That's fine.
You get Disney parks to yourself. Yeah.
I won't need to spend $400 on Lightning Lane then.
Oh, no.
Oh dear.
Oh,
Not
that's
goodness.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm not going. I'm not biting on that one. That's it. I'm into money saving. That's it.
They are. Biggest tip to save some money: don't buy the £400 Lightning Lane.
There you
It's
go.
not worth it.
Spot.
And if you want more money saving tips and any other tips that we do, if you're watching on YouTube, scan the QR code. It will take you to our website where you can see everything that we do. And also, don't forget to come and join us in the Wafflers Arms, our Facebook community, where we share so much more Disney fun.
And we're going to carry on the same kind of theme next week as well, because we're looking at free souvenirs. Yeah.
Yep.
And I'm looking right at you. But there'll be loads, and again, it's not so much of just the Disney chat; it's the chat that you guys actually join in with on a Wednesday. We really appreciate every single person who's put anything in the chat tonight. It means so much to us, because actually, like I always say, even if you weren't there, we'd still be talking. But actually, your chat just adds a little bit more to it, and it actually makes it even better. But a massive thank you. That's been a brilliant show, and I actually can't believe how long we've gone as well. Which then means that means if you listen to the podcast,
definitely,
yeah. Past Becca's bedtime. I think that's exactly
In fact, I'm surprised I managed to last that long without yawning. I'm going to be honest.
Oh, brilliant! No, thanks, guys. It's been really good. And again, we're back next Wednesday. Don't forget to check out podcasts.
Yep.
Loads of money saving advice in there. And until next week, we'll see you soon.
See you real soon.
Now my wheels in motion and my window